guys. Hello everybody out there in YouTube land. It's been so long. I'm sorry. For those of you who follow me on social media, you'll know that over the last couple of years I have been been sent to and covering Fierté Montreal Pride Montreal for Sirius XM Channel 167, Mr. Sean Prue Media, and the Gay Guide Network. And you know, last year I started a campaign called What Does Pride Mean to You? I'm sure you've seen the video. I'll link it below. That was my very first one. I was a little nervous asking people about what Pride meant to them because I wasn't really sure what my media pass could get me. Now, I'm going to ask you a very important question. What does Pride mean to you?
Freedom and respect.
For everybody, right?
Yeah.
I love it. That's such a good answer. Anything else?
And for me, very important what we are. It's all about freedom, and I don't care what we are, and I respect.
It's freedom. You had to smash the barricade.
Yeah, smash them right down to the ground, right?
Yes.
And this is a lovely thing to say.
It was about freedom, respect, and international. And sometimes we're not just there to celebrate, we're there to support the gays, the lesbians, the transsexuals. And if sometimes if you can't show a public affection of what you are, just remember, always believe in yourself, remember who you are and live who you are, and believe in everything you do, and make sure everyone loves you so much.
Pride means a space to protect other people that are not protected these days. Pride is a political action towards freedom for the LGBTQ and queer community.
Pride to me, well listen, I know I don't look it, but I'm 51, so I'm old enough to understand the trajectory that's gone on, and it's beautiful to me to see kids these days who are being born understand that being LGBTQ is who you are, you're born that way, and coming from a place when it was abnormal, when we were freaks, or when we were into bestiality, when we were pedophiles, when we were wrong, all growing up with those messages, that's because of pride. It's because of people coming together and saying, no, we're proud of who we are. And the movement that we've had is because of the movement that we've had, and that movement is pride. And I think we need to spend more attention on the people that did the work. So many people did the heavy lifting before I came along. So many people had the courage to be who they are, and to hold hands, and to refuse to not be authentic. And they paved the way. And then my generation's come along, and we've done our paving. And if you're watching this and you're younger, don't take for granted all these things. You may be able to hold your lover's hand. You may be able to feel normal. We've got Ellen and Grace and role models. You know, my role models didn't exist because they were wiped out by AIDS. We didn't have, as a gay guy, a lot of, find the older gay men right now. They don't exist for the most part. They were wiped out. And so it's incumbent upon us to be a role model for the next generation coming up. And if you're looking at this and you're younger than me, you are that generation. And it's up to you to be proud and to respect the people who came before you, and be someone who's respected for the people who are coming up behind you. That's what Pride's all about, so be proud.
If you had a message to your younger queer self, growing up, going through what you went through, what would that message of hope and love be?
You're gonna make me cry. You are perfect the way you are. You are worthy, you belong here, and everything's gonna be okay.
I love you, Sean.
And it is, and it was, and it will be. I love you too.
Pride means a lot, but I think on the whole it means living out. And I play with that often And I don't mean that we need to be divisive. Proud, living out has been both a struggle, been both an experience, been both, I don't know, I came out at 18, I'm 53 now, so do the math, it's been a long time, and I've gone from being scared, being somewhat in the closet, to being very radical, to being very political, to be very, F you, this is who I am, I don't give a shit, to now trying to understand how can we all accept each other and belong together, but most importantly, pride is authenticity. And authenticity is what I feel on the inside, who I am on the inside, how I might express, my preferences, my characteristic. I can live that openly. Yes, I may have to justify that sometimes. Yes, I may have to explain that, but it's being honestly who I am without fear of retribution, without fear of reprisal, and that is living proud. Not having to worry about what I say, how I act, how I mannerism, and is somebody going to give me a hard time about that, but also having the courage and the bravery and the vulnerability. So it's a hell of a lot. So living proud kind of requires a lot of effort, a lot of energy, but it really makes for, I think, a hell of a better planet.
If you had a message to your younger queer self, what would it be?
Oh my God. Just take the risk and not be afraid to be who you are, and the shame that you may have felt is not your fault. It's just the conditioning of the status quo that made you believe that somehow something was wrong with you, which is absolute tremendous bullshit.
Right.
And it may be difficult to believe that, but it's the absolute truth. And probably the more challenging it is, the more you are actually on the cusp of being your most authentic self.
What does pride mean to me? Pride to me means hope. As a gay man, well, I'm a drag queen now.
What? You're a drag queen?
Yeah, I'm a drag queen. I'm a drag queen. I was born in Algeria, and in the 90s, we didn't have the 80s because I'm a very old woman. We didn't have the internet. The only way we could know that there were people like me was through British pop music. I remember Jimmy Somerville, Culture Club, and everything, and pride. That's why pride is such an important thing. It's such an important event because some people take it for granted in Western countries and say, oh, we don't need pride anymore, we got rights and everything. But think of all these people that are not in the European countries. When they see pride, they see hope. So pride is a synonym of hope. So to me, if I had to give a definition of pride, is hope.
What was your very first pride experience?
It was in London in 1997. It was my first Pride ever, and it was beautiful. It was in a huge park. There was so many gay people. It was lovely, and there were a live concert with Pet Shop Boys and everything. It was such a great day for me. And a lot of people say we don't need pride anymore and everything and blah blah blah. And what people don't realize is that we're not proud of being gay. It's being proud versus not being ashamed, which is completely different, because people say, oh, why do we have to be proud if we're straight or anything? So it's not the thing. The thing is not being proud of, it's not being ashamed of being straight.
You are validated.
And it's one day in the year where everybody can kiss, everybody can walk hand in hand, because it's not obvious in many countries, even in Western countries nowadays, where you can't walk hand in hand, when you're transgender, when you're gay, when you're a lesbian. But during Pride, you can do all these things, and it's like a perfect world. It would be nice to be like that all the time.
If you had a message to those people in those countries where pride isn't acceptable, where being a part of the queer GLBTQ community isn't acceptable, what would your message to them be?
Never lose hope.
Pride means to me opening my mind to myself, accepting myself to who I am really. It took me a long time. It was a painful experience, but it's through pride that I discovered who I truly was. And it brought me to, within the past few months, to live as myself at last. And it's also a moment where I discovered that there are much more people that are accepting than we think. Much more allies than we think. Honestly, for me, Pride is also a symbol of the people that I've seen at my office that supported me since my coming out. And I mean, if I have a story to say, it's a great story.
What would you say to your younger self about coming out?
I would say, just come out of the womb 40 years later.
Heels on, lipstick on, makeup beat. Come on out.
I was born in the 60s. So, you know, homosexuals, gay people, they didn't exist. And to my
that was before, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. That was before Stonewall, right?
It was.
Right, that was well before Stonewall, where the gay lifestyle was illegal. Mm-hmm. So.
When I said to my mother when I was 3 years old, and that was in 1963, for the first time, when I will be a girl. And the only thing I got was a slap.
Thank you so much.
And today, born today, I would have so much of a different life. It's great. And
your strength in coming out will help someone else to come out.
I hope so.
Doesn't that feel like, that feels like, for me, I remember when I came out online and people were messaging me, I thought to myself, all of that pain and all of that stuff that I had been through growing up was worth it, because I got to a place where I was able to be me and help someone else to come out.
Yeah, it took me almost 50 years almost 60 years to accept myself. And I think it's important that people get to know who they are.
So this year I went about asking people, what does Pride mean to you? What does Pride mean to me? And I got some really great answers. The thing is that I personally have never answered what does Pride mean to me. And the thing for me is that growing up the way I did, you know, I didn't have a lot of opportunity to go to Pride because I lived in Hamilton. I grew up in Hamilton, and Hamilton didn't really have a Pride when I was transitioning, when I was 13 years old. And so I was sort of like left to my own devices to figure out what Pride meant to me. And over the years of hanging out within the queer community, I realized that Pride to me was a sense of belonging, a sense of community, a sense of feeling like there was absolutely nothing wrong with me at all. That's what Pride means to me. You know, I oftentimes wonder if my mom had been a little more open and she had brought me to something like this, if maybe my life would have been different. If maybe I wouldn't have been so fucked up as a kid. But I digress. I was, and I am, and that's okay. Because I'd like to think that I turned into a pretty freaking awesome person. Always, there are 3 things at the end of every single one of my videos that you can do. Number 1, comment down below, join the conversation. Number 2, share this with your friends, family, and coworkers, and maybe someone who you think maybe needs to learn their own ideas of what Pride means to them. And number 3, if you haven't already, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And I will catch each and every single one of you next year at Pride Montreal. Fierté Montreal.